Hey everyone, Mac is back. Today I'm going to talk about the previous KVK. I was absent from it for the majority, but then I was able to come back and play a little bit, and I played for a few hours, and I don't have any video of the actual attacks itself, but I want to go over just kind of my progression real quick. This shouldn't take too long. Just kind of show you lessons that I learned. It's always good to do these things during a deathless KVK, because you can experiment with different attacks, different formations, and see how strong you are by attacking certain players, and it won't be as costly to you. So let's get into it. First and foremost, one of the mistakes that I made, which is pretty obvious for most, but I kind of just wanted to get into KVK very quickly, so I was kind of hasty in my decisions when I was putting everything together and getting my army together and everything. I didn't fill my hospital with low tier troops, because you're obviously going to have to heal those later on, which it can be very expensive if you don't put in the lower tier troops. And I did not do that. So when I had the wounded, or when I had the wounded here in my hospital, I have a 560,000 hospital size, and there are some tier 3s in there, but the majority of it's tier 4. So I had like 25 days or so of healing that I have to do. So I'm not using the speed ups right yet. I'm going to let this just kind of go day by day until I need to do it. But yeah, that's just one lesson to be learned. And so let's quickly go over a few of the reports I did. So when I first got on, one of our alliance mates, I found a couple nice and easy castles to attack that were unbubbled. As you can see, this one here was a nice attack on a just over 100 million player. So for a player of my size, I only used a 50% buff here on my army size and not a 75. So I got about 1 million troops going into 1.5 million, and then you can kind of see here that just my meat shield here, I won a 3-troop attack just to kind of get the maximum bonus from the rest of my troops, and put a pretty good hurt on them, took their lord, so that was a nice little bonus as well. And then you can also nice to check out the battle record for that reinforcement skill that I have. So you can see the extra phantom troops that I got in there. Reroutes were obviously clearly really good too. And then you go to the bottom, you can see that I saved almost 6,800 troops, infantry troops that didn't die, that died themselves instead of my actual troops as well. So that's always nice. And then another kind of juicy matchup here was this castle was right next to the other one. It was 144. So actually another, kind of tells you that 144 million, you're looking at 1 million troops into 2 million, so that wasn't too bad. And then you can see the death and the so this was a little bit worse, or a lot worse, I should say a lot worse, but it was worse than the other one. Still only went through the tier 3s, which was nice as well. So I still actually had survived 126,000 of those, so that was pretty nice as well, to still not get into my tier 4. Then right after that, I decided to right now there you go. So he's up to he's a very, very, very strong player. And one way they even tell that is look at their merit. If they have a lot of merit like this, 161 million, that they're not going to be leave themselves open to attack very often. And even if they do, they're going to have enough troops at home to be able to defend. So I tried a solo attack on that and was completely annihilated. At the time, they were about a 380 some million, I want to say, power. So I was just testing that, and I think that's a good test to do, just to take that. So it took. After that, it obviously was really, really bad. I had to kill I had to poison my lord to get my lord back. I guess I could have asked for it, but because the KVK was kind of over at that point. But I did. I killed it, came back, and then I found another pretty juicy one here, which was just actually it was in Winterfell. But they had all their tier 4s in there, only about 600,000. So then so I just used the same march, and then when I went through this time, since they were all tier 4, and my hospital was full at this point. All of my tier 3 were the ones that died, and then you can see here more tier 4 wounded and dead. So you can see that probably, or I definitely wouldn't have, if I would have attacked this, I would have had all these probably wounded, and then The rest of these more wounded, and the only deads I would have had probably are these tier 4s here, most likely. Well, actually, it might have been a mixture of them both, just because it's a 40% rate. So then there's another time that I tried to solo another one, and what's he at? He's at 462. So maybe he does have his troops back, I guess. But so this one here as well was another one that I think he was around like low 300s. So I was sitting at this Baba here at he was about upper 300 million, and then this one's I think it was lower 300. So I would try to do that as well. Again, I was annihilated, so it didn't work out. Then we had a little bit of fun at this point, and this guy messaged me or messaged in the world chat, and he said, let's have a little bit of fun here, because there was only like maybe an hour left of KVK, and he released my lord to me. And this one, my lord's not even in here right now. My lord was Seg, and so he released it, and then this attacked me with whatever troops he had left. He only had 500,000 left, but he attacked into my 3 million without my lord. And then when he did that, clearly I'm going to lose all my lower tiers first, which I did, because I still had a decent amount in there. Still had about 3 million in there, and he lost. He was basically completely annihilated. It was all his tier 4s, his tier 4 cav, and I believe one of these was his lord as well. And if you go look, he was a pretty, we were very, very similar size, merit, and everything like that. So you can see we were, it was pretty decent matchup. If he would have had more in there, he could have, I lost 5 million. But probably would have, if he would have doubled that, we would have been pretty even. He may even have had, decent amount. Well, I don't know how many. Yeah, that's the problem. I didn't have many spears to counter. Well, actually, I did. I had the tier 3 spear, not many tier 4 though, because most of those had died. So that one went off, and then I got my lord back for the next one, because as you can see here, no Seg in this one, and the next one you can see Seg was in there. He was my lord. So when I got my lord back, of course all my bonuses come back. I had a lot less troop. Well, I said a lot less. I had, what did I have here? About 200,000 less troops around there, something like that. So I had about 200,000 less troops. They attacked with a little bit more at 600 and some thousand. And this person, where were they at? They were, again, about the same, 571,000. So we were all like in that similar ballpark of power. So they went, they actually put a meat shield in there, and then the rest of the troops as well. And clearly their hospital was, already packed up. So they lost. Those are the losses there. And you see 5 million, 20 million. So it did well with that. But when you're attacking it, it's very, very difficult to do that. So of course they lost their lord. And then I lost a little bit of the tier 4s there as well, because I only had 200,000 of my tier 3s left, and then of course all those were dying too. And then again, going and looking here, you can kind of see the phantom troops are all still really nice to have in there as well. Reroute working its thing, because I guess they didn't have that on their dragon. So that's always something you kind of want to go back if you want to see what they have on their dragon. Just hover over it. You can see what kind of bonuses they have on there. And you can hover over, obviously my 2 dragons, because he attacked my castle, and you can see what you have. So that's why it's always nice to have those Legion Dragon skills, because they can be very, very helpful. And as you go down here, you can see another, save another 4,700. So basically, the lessons to be learned was to fill my hospital up with those low tier troops, tier 1 if possible, and for my power that I have, don't try to solo these guys like this. That's why it's always good to have your banners. You can point these guys out if they're gonna be, if they get a little aggressive or something, and we can rally them. And if they're not a 0 castle, you can kind of go from there. So those are just something some thoughts that I had. And then a couple of these, easier troops, or easier castles. It's always nice to get those, to get their 60 lord in your dungeon, so you can increase your bonuses as well. So those are nice too. And then, if you get to a certain point that, it's nice to know that, castles of equal size or equal power as me, they cannot solo, so they would have to put a rally on. So just have your, just kind of try to think ahead in the sense of, if I do get, maybe rallied by this, the one bill player here. If he goes after and tries to rally me, make sure that you think ahead and know how to get away from either clear your castle out, transfer servers, You know, get some reinforcements if you're going to tank it or something like that, but just make sure you have some ounces, that kind of thing. So I hope this kind of gives you just a couple tips about your, you know, your KVK or for your future KVK, especially, you know, with the deathless one. Make sure that you go in there and have some fun, and you know, experiment a little bit, see what you can solo, or maybe even if you're a rally leader, hey, see who can rally somebody. Maybe you might be able to tank something too, or maybe they will tank it. So just kind of give you a better sense of the deathless KVK. But next time, definitely I won't be doing any kind of solo acts like this unless they're a lot smaller. So till next time, Mac out.